What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're concluding our journey of Laplace's box. Last time in Gundam Unicorn, the Sleeves and the Nahil Argama crew attempted to work together, but it quickly fell apart after both parties found out that the location of the box is none other than Industrial 7. Everyone heads for the box. In this episode, Banagher and Mineva learn of the contents of the box and make the decision of what they should do with it. Meanwhile, Ronin is prepping a weapon to destroy Industrial 7 and Magallanica. So let's get into this. In Cheyenne, Wyoming, the Unicorn family and Ronin enter in an underground base. They are prepping a secret system. They have a clear line of fire towards the colony. They are ready to destroy the box to keep the secret from going public. It isn't the first time a Marcinist attempted to kill a Marcinist. This family sucks. The system that they are referring to just so happens to be Grips 2. During the Grips conflict, Green Noah 2 was converted into a Titan's base, and then eventually the colony laser. Bright was able to attain this information from Kai Shiden. Apparently, EFF fixed the laser after it was seized. The Foundation doesn't seem to need the box anymore. Bright makes his way towards Earth to intercept with Vist and Ronin. Banagher engages Riddy in the Banshee Norn. Riddy says, "I'm a racist towards new types now." The RX-0N Unicorn Gundam Unit 2 Banshee Norn is the upgraded version of the Banshee and only has two changes. The armed armors BS and VN are replaced with the armed armor DE and XC. The armed armor DE is a normal eye field with more psycho frames along with 6 thrusters and a mega cannon. It essentially adds a built-in base jabber to the unit. The XC or Xeno Connect enhances generator output, which allows an old type to activate the NTD system. This will go on to influence the Nitro system. It has the same weapons loadout as the regular Banshee, including the Beam Magnum. Assisting the Nahil Argama is Conroy and Echous and the Jagan Echous type. The RGM-89DE Jagan Echous type is a special version of the D-type Jagan specifically designed for Echous. It can be equipped with a bazooka along with custom weaponry, but the loadout is the same as the Type D Jagan, which includes the Fire Nut Grenade, a Beam Saber, a Box Beam Saber used by Conroy, a shield equipped with a twin missile launcher, and a beam rifle, along with much more. The Mega Bazooka launcher was originally on the Argama and eventually moved to the Nahil Argama. I assume this is the same one used by Quattro back in UC-0087. Yagdogas and Baowoos attack the Nahil Argama. The Baowu tries to ram the ship, but the Garn Sears team and their Girazulus take it out. Banana doesn't have time to deal with Riddy's emotions, but he is like, "Rawr, I'm a lion, bitch!" Both of the Gundams are trying to provoke one another. What happens when an NTD system responds to your enemy's NTD system? It seems to create a psycho frame feedback loop, which really creates an even greater psycho field than seen 3 years ago. The Rosen Zulu comes onto the battlefield protecting his man full frontal. He fires on the Nahil Argama. Marita wants to launch in the Kshatriya, but the captain always hesitates on his order. Zinnerman says he should let her go. She will be a distraction for Banshee while Unicorn makes a blitz towards the colony. Otto allows Zinnerman to stay on the bridge as a combat advisor. Riddy calls Banana a dirty, filthy, disgusting new type. Banagher says, "You idiot, you're a new type as well. Don't you hear all the voices in your head?" Riddy goes in full denial mode and attacks Unicorn. But Marita takes on Riddy and tells Banana to clear a path for the ship. As the ship moves in, the Sturm Gallus lands on the ship's catapult. The AMX-101E Sturm Gallus is based on the Gallus J and is specifically designed to penetrate defensive lines. It is 50% higher than the base Gallus, which vastly improves mobility. However, it left the mobile suit with a lack of thrusters, so it compensates by using the SZA's booster unit. It has a pair of spike shields, which can be used for defense or offense. Other weapons include a chain mine and a magnetic anchor. As a reminder, Shizurum seems to be the Japanese pronunciation of Sturm spelled out phonetically. You don't have to say Shizurum, you could just say Sturm. Kind of like Kshatriya making no sense in English, but in Japanese, Kushitoriya is akin to a 4-winged bird, which makes more sense. A Girazulu and Jagans try to push it off the ship, but my favorite Wu-Tang Clan member, the SZA, comes in to help the Gallus. The Sturm Gallus uses the chain mines on the ship. Conroy in the Jagan Echous type throws a mine on the SZA and takes on the Sturm Gallus. Banagher throws his boosters towards the Rosen Zulu. A Gaozome and a Zaku 3 begin attacking Unicorn, but Angelo destroys one of his own units.
The pride of Neo-France, the ultimate weapon, Rose Bits.
I can't be the only one who thought of my boy George during this scene. Angelo is able to deactivate Unicorn's NTD system. Meanwhile, Mineva tries to contact Riddy via new type connection. As Riddy fights Marita, she and Mineva try to reach out to him, but he ignores her and shoots and kills Marita. Banagher can sense this, causing him to freak out. Marita shows up in Riddy's cockpit and says, "Bitch, I'm a ghost." Riddy regrets his actions. Every one of the Nahil Argama crew can sense Marita giving them a warning. She shows up in front of Zinnerman and says, "Bitch, I'm a ghost." She thanks him for giving her a second chance at life. In his anger, Banagher is able to reactivate the NTD system. He begins rushing Angelo, who starts to see visions of the captain. He says that he's the one who wants the captain inside of him and attacks his own cockpit with the incon system. Is this a not-so-subtle gay metaphor? Feels like a not-so-subtle gay metaphor. An Ewak Jagan uses its laser sensors to pick up 2 Indra-class ships and 1 Musaka-class ship approaching their location. The RGM-89DEW Ewak Jagan is a recon version of the Type D Jagan. It has enhanced sensing capabilities thanks to the large sensor unit attached to the head. It also has a second sensor unit on its left forearm and a large camera unit on its right forearm. Heat emissions are extremely low to keep heat to a minimum so it doesn't get picked up on any radars. Weapons are kept to a minimum as well and include a hand grenade, a beam rifle, and a beam saber. The Nahil Argama fires the Hyper Mega Cannon, destroying the Musaka and 1 Indra. Meanwhile, what is Riddy up to? He's struggling. In Cheyenne, Bright conducts an investigation on the facilities. Mobile suits begin attacking the Rockeye Loom. 2 of these mobile suits are a Zeta Plus A1 and the Gustav Karl Type 13. The MSC 006 A1 Zeta Plus A1 is a version of Zeta designed for Earth use. Because of this, the flight system and atmospheric reentry features are removed. The Wave Rider mode will eventually be added back to this unit, however. Its wing binders are also closer in design to the Hyakushiki. Weapons include 16mm Vulcan guns, a pair of thigh beam cannons where the beam saber is also held, a shield, a beam rifle, and a clay bazooka. It can optionally use the Rozel's beam rifle. The FD-0313 Gustav Karl Type 13 is a direct descendant of the RGM line of mobile suits and varies from the modern-day Jagans and Jestas. This mobile suit is all about large generators without sacrificing agility and maneuverability. It includes many verniers and controlled thrusters to help with fine movements of this fat boy. Weapons include EFF standards such as the Jagan beam rifle, a beam saber, a grenade launcher, a shield, and Vulcans. The TriStar team launches and takes care of the mobile suits with the swiftness. Banagher picks up Mineva and the 2 head to Industrial 7. Echous watches over them as they enter the colony. They see the same tapestry that they saw at the beginning of the series. Zinnerman wants to fight, but Otto wants to use the colony shield. Otto and everyone heard Marita's warning about something targeting them. That is when Magallanica stops rotating. Banagher and Mineva head into the lower levels of the Vis mansion. I love this scene where Bright just pushes one of the G-men, and absolutely no one says a word as they just watch this colony. Banagher and Mineva are welcomed with a sweet IMAX experience show of Universal Centuries past. They look down to see the Universal Century Charter. Mineva notices a new line. In case the emergence of a space-adapted race of humans is confirmed, then it is the responsibility of the Earth Federation to give them priority in involving them in the affairs of the government. Old Man Vist tells the 2 that this is Laplace's box. Now, I outright stated this in the first episode of our Gundam Unicorn coverage, even though the show makes it a mystery, because 1, the first scene in the show sets it up quite well, and 2, the concept of a space-adapted race deserving rights isn't really a stretch considering where this all starts. I will let Captain Otto sum up my thoughts. I don't know, was this a big mystery to you people? I'm curious. Vis wants to leave the box in the hands of new types. Riddy also informs the Nahil Argama crew of the UC Charter. Once Ricardo forced most of humanity into space, he added the line, in the future, to atone for his sins. After the destruction of Laplace, CM Vist soon went on to help create Anaheim Electronics. Working with the Carbine family, they created a powerful entity that could hide the secrets. They didn't seem all too worried until Zeong Daikun brought forth the idea of the new type, validating the box and thus making it a powerful weapon of influence. So they kept silent out of fear of a new one-year war. Something hits outside of the colony. Full Frontal is making his way to their location. As Vist simply wants to leave hands in the fate of new types, he says they could choose to show the box to the world or hide it. He doesn't care. He is about to die anyways. He can't even get through this sentence. Also, Troy Baker plays CM Vist. Banagher doesn't know which choice to make, but he gives some vague platitudes about protecting the future. Vist tells him that he has limited access to all of the Earth sphere's communication, and they may speak to the world if they like. How did he hijack all communication channels in an age of Minovsky particle dispersion? I have so many questions. But that is when Full Frontal makes his appearance and says, hold up, think of the possibilities. What if you used it as a bargaining tool instead? In the colony builder, Riddy finds a giant red mobile armor. It is the Neo Zeong. The NZ-999 Neo Zeong is a mobile armor which docks directly with Sinanju. It has wired bits that can hijack enemy mobile suits and turn them against one another. Another special weapon includes the Psycho Shard Generator, including a giant ring which creates a psycho field which is shown to melt weapons, but it is said to actualize thoughts. It may also have the potential to let a new type see all of time and space. It's quite vague. Other weapons include 60mm Vulcan guns, a beam saber, a large caliber high megaparticle cannon, a large megaparticle shoulder cannon, a rocket bazooka, and a shield. It also has a stern booster and an eye field generator that can tank a beam magnum. The mobile armor sends out its wired bits towards Echous. It latches onto their mobile suits and begins hijacking their systems. The Jagans begin fighting one another. Full Frontal is controlling his machine through his mask, which is probably in the same vein as Puru or Char's Psychomo amplification thingy. Full Frontal takes off his mask. Wait, what about what's happening outside? Don't go AFK. He wants the box to be used as a bargaining chip. But that is exactly why he should not have it. This tells the Ghost of Char to let it go, man. Let the next generation handle things. It's over. It was over in UC-0093, but here we still are. He goes, nah, bitch, my deals. As he points a gun at the three, Vist goes, surprise, brain lasers. Unfortunately, Full Frontal makes his escape. Gael, the Vist family's right-hand man who we saw in the first episode, went out to protect the box and buy them some time. He is piloting the Silver Bullet. The ARX Silver Bullet is a variant of the Dolphin Wolf and created by Anaheim Electronics after getting a hold of the Axis mobile suit and reverse engineering it. It is more trimmed down and removes the megaparticle cannons in the abdomen. The VIS Foundation was given these units after EFF finished initial testing. Weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a Jagan beam rifle, a beam saber, and the Incom system. It also has a beam cannon, a 12-tube missile launcher, and much more. Banagher heads out to protect Magallanica. Riddy helps Conroy and Echous. He sees Full Frontal entering the mobile suit. He unleashes an energy beam onto the colony. As Banagher makes his escape, Gael fights Neo Zeong and Banana gets into the Gundam. He tells Gael to fall back, but he's been waiting for the box to be opened and will protect it to the very end. Banagher screams out to the Gundam and it responds on its own. It comes to him and he gets inside the cockpit. Riddy joins Banagher and a cosmic glow begins to swell. Vist still wonders if new types truly exist. He believes Mineva should be the one who tells the world. Both Unicorn Gundams take aim and with their beam magnums, fire on Full Frontal. But the mobile armor's eye field blocks it no problem. Damn, that's a strong eye field. Full Frontal uses the Psycho Shard generator on the Gundams and it begins melting their weapons and armor. Mikoto and Takuya come to the bridge. While we were paying attention to Banana, these two definitely had sex. Unicorn Gundam begins tearing through the mobile armor and gets to the Sinanju in the center of the Tootsie Pop. The Psycho waves begin resonating at extreme levels, and once again, a Psycho field is generated. Full Frontal asks Banagher if he has ever traveled through time and space. Well, there's a first time for everything.
You're about to go on a trip.
They transcend time and space and play the greatest hits of Universal Century. Banagher pulls himself out of the darkness as Full Frontal embraces it. The ghost of Lala and Char tells him that it is time to go. Neo Zeong begins crumbling apart and with it, Sinanju. The metaphor of Full Frontal leaning towards the darkness and Banagher pulling himself out towards the light gets a little surreal in this moment. But if we want to try to make meaning, I assume the Psycho Wave generator is that strong of a Psycho Wave emitter. You die, but at least you get to see all of time and space. It might be worth it. As Riddy and Banana go to deal with the colony laser, Full Frontal's spirit flies off with Char and Lala. So what is Full Frontal, really? Him being a vessel for the hopes and dreams of Zeon make for a narrative metaphor, but if we have to take a crack at it, he is most likely just a cyber new type with Char's memories implanted into him. Don't forget, Nanai is a mad scientist. If you are following our Moon Gundam coverage, we just saw her find a way to partition a brain into two. She definitely had at least 5 Char test tube babies just waiting to be used. She's still out there. On Earth, Bright is trying to get Martha and Ronan to not fire the colony laser. After hearing Marita's voice, Alberto Vist is over Martha and his family. Bright says to consider him an enemy of EFF if they go through with this. But Ronan calls his bluff and fires the it's just a countdown timer. That was suspenseful, I thought. Oh, never mind. I guess now we wait. The fat unicorn yells out that Riddy is piloting the Banshee. Ronan just fired on his own son. Your father would be proud, but your grandfather would be disappointed. Banagher tells everyone, you know what? That psycho field is kinda neat. I think I'm just gonna tank this shit. Riddy joins them and says that they could put an end to what their ancestors started. 10 seconds left on the timer, and Ronan is panicking. The laser goes off. New type bullshit activate! The two use the psycho fields and their mobile suits to stop the attack. As Unicorn Gundam overloads, it begins to crystallize. The two are able to stop the colony laser from destroying Magalanica. On Earth, there is silence from everyone. Suddenly, Mineva transmits a communication to the world. Magalanica is still intact. She tells the world of Laplace's box and the original Universal Century Charter. Riddy does what he does best. He's gonna cry. He's always gonna cry. Zinnerman is the one to captain the Magalanica now that it is a drifting colony builder. Bright takes Martha in for questioning. Alberto tells her to let it go and to make a fresh start. Out in space, Angelo is still alive. He goes to find Full Frontal's escape pod, only to find that he has passed away. Oh yeah, those two f***ed. Riddy goes to check on Banagher, but his mobile suit activates and takes off. Riddy follows suit and activates his NTD system. Banagher has become the ultimate new type. As the General Revel makes its way towards their location, Banagher uses the power of the cosmic glow to deactivate EFF's forces. As Banagher comes to, he says the name Audrey. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. I will say that I enjoyed this more than the initial watch when it first aired, but boy, is there a lot of new type nonsense in this one. This is a love letter to Universal Century, but at times it does feel like we are putting a hat on a hat post Char's counterattack. Hey, that rhymed. Is it truly building on the concept of the psycho field we learned already, or is it all more of the same? In our next adventure in Universal Century, we will head 1 year into the future where the RX-0 Gundams have been locked away, but a third unit makes its appearance. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, if you believe in the power of the light side, you too can tank 92 million gigawatts of power. Peace.